Their laughter echoed in the air, each cruel word piercing to the laughter, sharp and biting, as if they believed I couldn't hear their taunts. But I heard every vicious syllable, each one sinking deeper than they could have imagined. The gala unfolded in a grand rooftop venue, its gleaming glass walls reflecting the arrogance of those inside more than the city's twinkling skyline. It was her firm's event, a night to celebrate promotions, accomplishments, and perhaps a few crocodile tears. Dressed in their finest tailored attire, they surrounded me, their polished smiles and cutting remarks directed toward the one person they assumed wasn't paying attention. I stood rigid by a round table near the back, my seat beside hers, though her name was absent from the placard in front of me. Instead, it read Worthless Idiot Scum. The laughter exploded across the room, echoing off the sleek surfaces as her colleagues, her boss, the man she once called bold yet brilliant, even the interns who never bothered to know my name, all joined in the ridicule. Freeloader, hissed one. Bloodsucker, sneered another. The sound of their crystal glasses clinking was no toast of celebration, but one of scorn. I looked at her, sitting there, the woman I had loved, the one who used to trace my knuckles with affection, whispering that my hands crafted futures. She had once cried tears of joy when I gave her that simple second-hand ring, swearing I was her universe, her forever partner. But now, there was no trace of the woman who had stood by me as I worked double shifts to fund her MBA, who had once dreamed of a life together, built from nothing but hopes and hard work. She didn't hush them. No. She leaned toward her boss and whispered something into his ear, her lips curling into a smirk that made him choke on his wine with laughter. I didn't leave. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I smiled, because, you see, this was no accident. This moment, it had been months in the making, a performance I had carefully orchestrated for 6 long months. Things hadn't always been this venomous. 10 years earlier, we had been different. We were young, eager, naive, and brimming with promises. We had dreams, and they felt real. But then came the corner office, the designer wardrobe, the endless dinners with her colleagues that stretched until sunrise. And with them came the cold, subtle changes. The scent of unfamiliar cologne when she slid into bed. How she would flinch when I reached for her phone. She thought I didn't notice. She mistook my silence for ignorance. But I saw everything. It hit me one night when I picked her up from the airport. She had said she was in Dubai for a leadership conference, but her suitcase bore a tag from Rome. Before I could question it, she launched into an elaborate story about her flawless presentation, showing me a doctored photo with a time-stamp error too obvious to ignore. That night, I stopped being her husband and became an observer, quietly watching, gathering evidence, piecing together the lies. I installed a data recovery program on our shared tablet, one she had forgotten to log out of. What I found was more than I could have expected. Texts, photos, and even a video of her with her boss, filmed in my own garage, wearing my hoodie. Bank records revealed a secret company credit card in her name, used to fund their hidden getaways. She mocked me in whispered tones, but I moved silently in her shadow, watching, calculating. I consulted a divorce attorney, someone skilled in corporate wrongdoing and tracing hidden financial trails. Then I met the board chair, an older man with sharp eyes and suspicions about the CEO's loose ethics. Posing as a concerned husband, I earned his trust and contact information. In exchange, I provided the evidence. The gala was always meant to be my final act. I arrived intentionally late, dressed in a plain black suit, no tie, no warmth, just a chill of purpose. In my pocket, a USB drive, and in my mind, a speech rehearsed to precision. They were mid-toast when I entered the room, her eyes flickering with surprise before she forced a sugary smile, her boss slinging an arm over a chair, blatantly ignoring my presence. I took my seat, glanced at the cruel placard before me, and let their laughter roll over me undisturbed. I waited. As the toast lost momentum and the champagne dulled their edge, I stood, tapping my spoon against my glass. The room fell into an uneasy hush, not out of respect, but out of curiosity. Even she smirked, dismissing me. I raised my glass, nodding to the board chair at the head table. "May I say something?" I asked, my voice calm, steady, unflinching. "Tonight, I must sever ties," I continued. with your company and with the woman I thought I knew. The tension in the room was palpable. I held up the USB drive like a trophy, my hand steady. This contains proof of policy violations, misused company funds, unreported trips, and inappropriate relationships between executives and employees. Her boss fidgeted nervously. My wife paled. I turned to the chair. I trust your commitment to integrity remains firm. Or was it revised after the Rome affair? A collective gasp spread through the room. The chair stood, his face hardening. Security moved in quickly. Her boss was escorted out in seconds. My wife stumbled after him, her voice breaking, tears streaking her makeup. The board chair turned to me. "We'll talk soon," he said, extending his hand. I shook it. Then I turned and walked away. The fallout was swift. She was suspended, then fired. Her name was scrubbed from the company website within hours. Her boss faced a financial investigation, his departure making headlines. As for me, I filed for divorce the very next day. I kept our house and claimed half her assets, legally hers, but now rightfully mine. The last time I saw her, she stood at my doorstep, eyes swollen, barefaced, no ring. "It was just a mistake," she whispered, her voice cracking. I looked at her coldly. "No," I said, my voice devoid of emotion. "It was a choice." Then I closed the door. I sleep easy now. Revenge isn't born from rage. It's precision. Justice isn't loud. It's meticulous. They call me a worthless idiot. Scum. But scum can be burned away, and some things are best left to smolder into ashes.